behind the song, 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 behind the song. Hi everybody, it's Jason here, and today we're behind the song. We're going to talk about what it deserves and the meaning behind it. So let's get started. So like any great song, there's a story behind the song. And with this song, oddly enough, it's about the guitars where it starts as much as it is about the words. About this little guy right here in my hands. Hey, so the story behind the guitar was that night I had no intentions of even writing a song. My main focus that night was literally to change the strings on that little guitar that I have there. It's been hanging on my wall for almost 2 years now, more of a decoration. I hadn't even picked it up. And I had everything ready to go, and I was about to start changing the strings, and something compelled me, I don't know what, to sit down and tune it, play it, see how it sounds. So I sat down in my chair, and I started tuning it, which, took forever because, actually the battery in my tuner died because it took forever. No, just because the battery was old. But I started playing the guitar once I got it in tune, and then all of a sudden, this song just started flowing out of me. And it's really kind of crazy sometimes how the stars align and little weird things like that work out, because, the song, and as far as how I play it and how I record it down the line may change, but the meaning, that moment, and how the song was created is not going to change at all. It went from some little routine thing that was going to happen that night into me recording a song to share with y'all within like 45 minutes of me picking up that guitar. So it's really crazy how these things work sometimes. And I just like sharing that kind of stuff because I don't know, nobody knows, and I can't for the life of me, for as long as I've been playing guitar, can explain sometimes how the craziness of me writing songs really happens, intentional or unintentional. So I just wanted to share that with you. But now we'll get into the verses, and we'll talk about the verses a little bit, about the song, what it deserves. Okay, so the verses, they're pretty self-explanatory. I'll go into a little bit more detail with them. I've been hiding myself for years. I basically pretty much stopped playing guitar altogether because I was really just not happy playing anymore, and I was burnt out from even trying to even think about playing the guitar, writing a song. I put so much pressure on myself over the years to try and make something of this because it was what I always had wanted since, I had started doing this. So eventually you just kind of hit that point where you're like, this isn't happening. What do I do? And if I can't give it the time or the attention that it deserves, then you really just become frustrated and burn out, and nothing's fun. And at the end of the day, I've already struggled with low self-esteem, depression, alcohol issues. Like, my anxiety would be so bad that I would try and get drunk before I played, and then I wouldn't play as well, and I'd take that out on myself. A lot of stupid things that you do kind of, I guess I have learned now as I'm going through this and growing older. you can't be loved until you love yourself, and I have learned this the hard way over the last few years, that all of this has happened. I say a few, about a lot of years. Um, that until you really do come down and actually like love yourself, you really can't be loved. And all of these things were happening, and all of this negative energy just surrounded everything that I did regarding music to the point where I just really couldn't be a part of it anymore. So, I mean, that's definitely, um, I guess that more than explains that first verse. And the second verse gets more into the alcohol portion, which, I mean, if you have struggled or do struggle with anything, you know that it becomes a part of you. Like, I couldn't do anything. I mean, everything was alcohol related. Like, even the simple act of having dinner was alcohol related, or going out, or doing anything. I can't remember the last concert I went to sober, so there's also that. Like, there's a whole bunch of things that all surround these verses to this song, and a lot of it has to do with the negative connotations I surrounded myself with about myself, and my inability to understand that I am a beautiful person and that I do have gifts and talents and should love and be loved like everyone else. So, yeah, I think that's it. Or should pretty well explain the verses more so than I really had intended on doing. So, all right, next we'll get to the chorus. Okay, so now that we got through the verses, the chorus. I mean, I think it pretty much, if it hasn't kind of already explained itself, is pretty simple. I have the time and I have the means, and yes, there's this whole crazy pandemic thing. Don't know if I'll be able to get out to do live shows yet or what, but I do have the ability to bring y'all personal content and music and try and connect with you that way until those things can happen. And so I will just want to give it what it deserves. At the end of the day, I just want to know that if my time comes or when it comes, or if it's, in 10 minutes, like, at least I gave it an effort. I gave it my energy. I tried and tried to share my talents with you, share my life, share my stories. Hopefully, if you're out there watching this, that it has some sort of impact, and I would definitely like to connect on that level, and more than just me sharing videos. And maybe there can be a back and forth. Maybe we can have a video back and forth about some of these topics that will come up through songwriting or life in general. So, in conclusion, that's what I have for you today. I just really want to thank you for stopping by, watching me ramble for a little bit. And that was it. That was behind the song for the song What It Deserves. Yeah, thank you. And behind the song, behind the song, behind the